ghostly feel.
All right, let's go ahead and introduce the players yet again as the Purple Terran. We have Alive spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Entombed Valley.
The top left corner from Team MVP, we have Park Soo-ho. It is Dongraegu. He is the GSL Season 1 champion of Code S in 2012. Also hailed as one of the best Zergs in StarCraft 2. He's got an insane win rate at 63%. He's beaten in the past couple of months Marine King, Bomber, Polt, even Puma, the two-time NASL champion. And yes, he did lose a few games here and there, Andre, but the last time he's lost a legit ZVT series was against Polt at the MLG Spring Championship. It's been months since DRG's legitimately lost against Terran.
Yeah, his
ZVT how insane is that?
It's just so well put together, honestly. Like his creep spread that whole game, what he's actually prioritizing, what he's focusing on. This is what's really important. You know, a lot of times you look at the early game stages and you just go through it and say, what is this opponent or what is this player focusing on? And for the beginning stages, we saw creep spread being focused on and also just a healthy economy. And we go into the mid-game stages and we say, why does he focus on that? What is the reason for, you know, going all these particular actions? And we can see it lines up perfectly. The creep spread is to prevent any early pushes. Of course, the early baneling nest is to just solidify his position, make sure that he's not susceptible to anything. And then later game stages, the Ultra Zergling Baneling Infestor composition. It flows nicely with the creep spread and protecting his creep. This is all stuff that you have to keep in mind. Dongraegu has planned from the get-go, and that's what's so fascinating about these pro players. They're able to have coherent plans throughout their game. Alive, I just felt like he didn't have something put together. Yes, he is a world-class player, but when it comes down to it, he really just, I think, squandered his time in the beginning phase with his early advantage. And already, oh my god, oh wow. So Dongraegu right now is a little bit scared of some sort of all-in.
That's taunting him, man.
That's why he actually has all these drones out here. For some reason he's saying, oh, it's some sort of 2 racks all-in, but of course we know it's not.
Oh, come on, man. Alive is the sickest 2 racks. I think they did a Korean poll, like, amongst players. And they say who has the best, you know, like, Forgate, who has the best, like, Stargate control, who's got the best Infestor control. It's like, who got the best 2 racks? And everyone's like, Alive, 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 Alive. And then, like, maybe, like, bit by bit Prime's like, but Alive, Alive. Like, everyone voted for this one guy because he's got the sickest 2 racks. And, of course, Alive is playing into that knowledge, even though Dongraegu hasn't scouted him.
Oh, yeah. And look at how many Zerglings are already out. And this is a direct response to, of course, Alive being such a fantastic 2-raxer and known as being a 2-raxer, especially on Entombed Valley. It's such a great map for that. 4 Marines should be able to kite 8 Zerglings, though. I don't think this should be too much of a problem as long as he target fires correctly.
Oh, yeah. Oh, but he does get a little bit inside a good position here. He's able to take out most of the Zerglings, if not all of them. Great stutter step micro from DRG, and now he is in. But now he's just going to be able to harass the SCVs, and he sees that very, very, very fast third command center. And that's going to prompt DRG to just play super greedy as well, or to punish if he really wants to.
Yeah, this is very unfortunate. He has to make an extra Marine instead of getting that reactor, which is what he really wants. The reactor obviously going to line up with this factory, but it's going to be a little bit later because of that initial pressure. I think Alive did mess up that target fire over there. He needs to actually target down the Zerglings. I know it's difficult to do, but they're playing on Korean server, so it's no excuse. They don't have any lag issues.
Yeah, that's right, guys. If it is Korean versus a Korean, they do play on the Korean server, and we do try to accommodate that as much as possible. For now, we do see that DRG is going for only 4 queens this game and double gassing. And that usually signifies that they want to go for at least some kind of early tech, whether it's for roaches or banelings. Some players like Stefano end up going for roach pressure. That's what he did to me when I played Stefano earlier this week.
Oh. I did. Well, I played Stefano too.
You played Stefano? That's right. Actually, whoa.
I did.
We all played Stefano.
And we all won.
We all won. To be fair, Stefano played with handicapped every single time, but hey, man.
Except for me. He didn't play with a handicap against me.
But we can see that Alive is still pushing out at this point.
He is. I think Alive in this position, I mean, Wait a minute.
The Hellions, I mean. Sorry. He's poking out. You have to scout with your Hellions early on with TVZ.
Okay. I love this build coming out from Alive. It's very risky. Very, very risky. But I love it. Do you know what it is?
Oh, sorry. I was looking at DRG's build. Alive's build. 4 command centers.
4 command centers. Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. Everybody, you guys are going crazy. You don't know what's going on? I'm going to explain it right now. I used to do this build. I actually did it against not only Violet, and I won against him, and Golden, and I won against him when they came to the studios. If you get a Zerg that's very passive, what you can do is build up a ton of command centers. Now, of course, it matters what time, the timing in which you do that. But if you're able to get out these command centers very early, what you actually do is say, I don't need to expand as fast as normal games. Yes, the extra gas will help, but because I have such a booming economy early on, I can just start mass trading. And all of a sudden, you have so much stuff. You have so many barracks. You have so many Marines out in the field that you can actually always guarantee some sort of damage done to your opponent. And with that, you can actually pull way ahead. All you have to do is drop a single command center, let's say down here, and then 20 mules get shoved down on this. All of a sudden, you have like 4,000 mineral income, and then you're doing the same thing over and over again. You have to defend one specific area instead of defending like 5 different areas. It's really, really powerful.
Yeah, and DRG is just playing pretty straightforward from this point on, getting his +1/+1, starting his upgrades very early as well. We'll see where he chooses to tech. Again, he does have the flexibility for mutas or infestors, but the way he's getting everything, he's getting additional macro hatchery, so he's going to be pumping out lots of Zerglings as well. Now, just like you're saying, Andre, Alive will have that huge macro advantage, but he's been playing really greedy. In fact, hasn't really been able to get up that strong of production line. He did go double engineering bay, and this is maybe him working off the assumption that DRG would go for 6 queen again, but that is not the case this time, Andre.
No, it's not.
Well,
now,
he did go 6
a Zergling
queen,
run by can actually throw a wrench into things. Alive, for some reason, hasn't walled off this exit. Normally when you do this, you actually have a lot of wall-offs all over here, whether it be, obviously, barracks or whether it be just supply depots. But here we go. The Hellions will clear everything up, and you can see the big SCV transfer. But right now, you can see like just the dramatic differences in this income. It's going to fluctuate up and down all game long, and expect Alive to just throw down a ton of barracks. You can see 8 already out in the field. I would actually expect double of that, just because of the fluctuations of this map. Still, I think he needs more command centers if he wants to actually pull this off. Else, he's just... If he doesn't get more command centers, what actually happens is you lose out on a ton of timings, and you don't really have a lot of power when you should be getting... well, when you should be having a much larger force.
How
it's
many
really,
command centers?
I think at least 5.
At least 5. So just 1 more command center.
Correct.
4 is still plenty, Andre, in my opinion, for the current moment, because I think, don't you have to scale back so much of your production capability, though, early on?
It's really, really minor, I think, just because of how good mules are.
Yeah, well, mules are pretty good, Andre.
Mules are good.
One thing I do like is that Alive's upgrades are very timely compared to his opponent. He does have 2/2 start very early on compared to normal Terrans. And, I mean, he's just been playing super passive. No real poke. There's no 10-minute timing on the third. No ability to really control creep tumors whatsoever. He's just completely rescinded any attempt to deny Zerg's economy. But at the same time, his supply count is very healthy for this stage of the game. He's already at 130 supply. Going to poke out here and try to see if he can force more units. But at this point, DRG is getting everything he wants to. And now he's got mutas on the map. And DRG with mutas is a very scary thing to face against, because he's really good at picking his opponent apart. Alive starting to put up turrets, but if knowing DRG, he should be able to dodge him and still do damage.
You know, I've had a lot of controversy over going mutas, especially so delayed. 13 minutes into the game, and we have how many mutas out in the field? 11, 13 right now. It's 1,300 gas that you're actually investing into this, and you're coming at a time when 2-2 is about to finish. Look at that. 2-2 is just about 40 seconds away. So are you really going to do that much damage to the mutas? I think it helps out with defending against a lot of harasses, but in terms of actually giving that much support for your main army, I really feel like it's negligible.
I know what you mean, Andre. And that's why, I mean, honestly, the Muta styles eventually fell out when people started catching on to the Infestor style that Stefano was playing, and Nurchio. But at the same time, I like where DRG keeps its flexibility, because if he sees an opportunity to, then we can see the mass 3-base Mutaling Bane, I want to say all in, where it's just like a huge attack that Terran can't stop. And we're seeing glimpses of it. Alive's moving out. Oh no, he has to get back. Immediate fire drill. Actually, it's not a drill. This is not a drill. The Zerglings are immediately crashing the base. Beautiful. And Alive can't really split that well. DRG gets a good engagement. Oh, but the Marines.
Alive.
Wow.
Absolutely beautiful split right there with those Marines, and you can really see the power of those command centers in the early game stage. Alive is up to 5 command centers right now, which I love. Income 73 to 79. Normally you actually scale off a little bit in the Harvester count. Alive not really choosing to, and now he's just going to push very aggressively. This is where Zerg is weakest when you're going Zergling, Baneling, Muta. You don't have a lot of Zerglings left over, so you can see the Banelings are just being made, and then he has to back off. Alive doing it perfectly. You have that small 20-second window to actually do something. Of course, take out creep tumors is what's really, really empowering this army composition, and then from here, you can actually just obviously get those small advantages, wait until the next attack, and obviously rinse and repeat.
Yeah, I didn't see Alive pull back another pack of Marines further to his third. I just thought that was the last pack at the natural. It was a great momentary decision from Alive, and as a result, he's in a great position now. He does have 2-2 finished as well, and DRG needs a lot of time to even squeeze out Broodlords. He doesn't have Infestors really developed. He's got 3 Infestors on the way, Andre, and that's going to be very key to stopping any kind of Marine force. But Alive, honestly, man, he's just been playing very well, and that 4-orbital command economy is really starting to work on his mineral count, though. He's almost mined out of his main and natural.
Well, it's going to go up to 6, and you can see, like, Alive, why aren't you taking bases? Well, he really doesn't have to, because he has so many orbital command centers at this point. Trades are really, really good. He needs to actually tread lightly, because this is the problem. Zergling Baneling going to crash directly on creep, but look at how efficient Alive's micro is being.
Very, very
nice.
Oh
my gosh.
Very nice. And he does lose his tanks, but as long as he keeps a huge core of Marines to make sure that he doesn't have to deal with the Banelings, it's good. But he might be running straight into Infestor count, but he does split them up prematurely, and he does able to get a good concave regardless. Alive looking very good on top of his game, even splitting yet again for the Banelings. And DRG is not going to be able to hold his forward base for much longer unless he's able to get a good surround with the Zerglings. He's going in once again, Andre, but Alive cutting back very nicely. There's still a lot of Mulas left, but even more Marines with 2-2 and 3-3 just finished. GG. And Alive takes game number 2.
You know, I've been preaching this for a while, but you know, I like mutas, I like reintroducing them, but I think they have to come in a little bit earlier, because these styles these days really combat muta play in this early game stage. You can really see that the mutas weren't that much of substance, and he went to crash in at the natural. They didn't really do anything. They got eaten up so fast because of those 2-2 Marines, and they're so effective. But still, I don't want to take away from Alive's excellent micro that game. He split beautifully. A lot of times when he was on creep as well, and he was able to dodge a lot of Baneling fire. It could have been catastrophic, but he made it work and took out DRG in game number 2.
Running up that small little ramp, and he actually lowered 1 depot, just 1 depot. It was actually really clever. A lot of people mass lower because they're like, well, get out of here as soon as possible. But making them funnel through that 1 spot, and some Banelings exploded, create a bigger path, but regardless, it was a small thing that could have made the big difference of DRG killing all his production and Alive taking the game. Thank you to Cooler Master for providing lots of good peripherals for NASL and just generally being a cool company. Yeah! We'll be back after commercial break. Don't go anywhere after I get slapped for making that awful joke. Be right back.